Hi everyone, welcome back. It's the Louis Vuitton Princess and I'm making my second video of the day today. And today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my 2023 purchases so far. We're like almost halfway through 2023. So I typically like to do a video just like showing my purchase recap for the year so far. This is not all of my bags. If you're interested in seeing more of my full Louis Vuitton collection, feel free to stop by my Instagram at the Louis Vuitton Princess. But these are my purchases as of January 1st, 2023. So let's jump in. The most recent purchase, and I made a video about this one earlier, is my Louis Vuitton Monogrammaflage Speedy 35. Super rare, super highly coveted, and this one I purchased for $1,000 cash. My next item is I actually haven't carried this one yet. It is my Steven Sprouse Roses mini, or not mini, I'm so used to saying mini Pouchette accessories. I think I paid like $7.50 or something for this one. Very cute, very pretty. Absolutely love this collection. And this one was purchased from Facebook. Next piece I have, and this is going to be a short video, I'm flying. Next piece I have is my Louis Vuitton. This is actually like a watch box. It's all Vuitton. But basically I wear a lot of rings and I really wanted to like have like a little jewelry box sort of thing going. So that's how I found this piece, and this was $150. Super cute, really like it a lot, and it serves well for what I got it for. Next up, I got two clays. The first clay was the Damier Azure Clay. I didn't realize that this was like rare now, but this is another one of those pieces that used to be a really common Louis Vuitton piece, and apparently they don't really like make a lot of them anymore. I don't know. So nonetheless, I was very fortunate to get my hands on this, and to be honest, I don't remember the price. I think it was $275. I'm pretty certain about that, but I don't 100% remember. Next up is my multicolor Noir Clay, and I'm sure people have been following me for a while were like, you already had a multicolor Noir Clay, which I did, but it was not this print. Everybody who knows me knows I love this print, and so I ultimately basically did like a 1-for-1 swap. I sold my multicolor clay, and I basically brought another multicolor clay, so it's like this one I'd kind of say was like free, just because I sold one to buy one, basically a 1-for-1 sort of thing. Next we have, I'm so happy about this one too. Next we have my Tahitian Louis Vuitton mini Pouchette, another one of those bags that like, I remember when this collection came out and it was like, I really wanted something from this collection, but at the time I was still a pretty poor college student. I couldn't afford to buy new, I could only afford to buy used. So this one was like out of my price range, and you know, it was one of those bags where I was like, oh, you know, I'll just like scoop it up later, like no problem. Wrong. They sold out very quickly. They pretty much immediately got price gouged, and you don't see any of them that are not being price gouged anymore. Like I actually see these typically go for about $600. I purchased this one locally off of like Facebook for $350, so very good price for this. Next one I have, I'm absolutely in love. This is like one of those bags where it's like a bag I never knew I needed. It is the Louis Vuitton BB St. Cloud. Basically like the mini St. Cloud. I've never really been a St. Cloud girly. I don't really like the St. Cloud. However, I really like the look of the mini. I think the miniature version or the BB version is super cute. This is also a rare bag. It's from, I believe, the 80s, so it's quite old, and I mean, as you can see, the condition is really good. There's no cracks on it, which is one of the biggest things that you see even with some of the newer St. Clouds. They usually have cracks, so this one I paid a pretty penny for. I think it was like $9.95 or something, and that was was mostly because it didn't have cracks, and as you can see, the hardware is still in really good shape. But overall, super cute piece that I'm really happy with. Next up is my Louis Vuitton Speedy 18. This one, how much I paid for it completely escapes me. This one is like not in the best shape, but it's another one of those like I think 80s or something bags. It's also very rare. I can't remember exactly, but I think this bag was one where like there were only 50 made or something in total. There were not a ton of these made. They were made for the Louis Vuitton store opening in Japan some time ago, or I'm sorry, I think it was the 10-year anniversary of the Louis Vuitton store in Japan. So these were like a pretty like rare release, and these bags are really, really hard to find. So I didn't really mind that it's kind of in like very vintagey, slightly beat up condition, just because the bag is super, super rare. And I'm actually planning on getting the hardware and vachetta replaced on this one. Most people who own these do that just because they're like a bit older and have a little bit more wear, but a super, super rare collector's piece. It's a little bit bigger than the mini Speedy, so that's an aspect I really like about it, because while I do carry quite a bit in my mini Speedy, sometimes it can be like a little bit too small, so this one is like a really good compromise. So anyways, I'll probably make an actual full video just on this bag, but for now, here she is. The next one I purchased, this was a unicorn that I've wanted for a really long time, and I definitely paid a pretty penny for it. I don't actually remember how much I paid, but this is the Louis Vuitton Mini Papillon. I absolutely love the Mini Papillon. I fell in love with it the moment I saw it. Super cute. It's just the mini version of the traditional Papillon. So the Papillon has the 26, the 30, and then this is the mini. So super cute. And this is another one of those like collector's Louis Vuitton bags that a lot of people don't really know exist. So here it is. Next up, I've wanted this one for a long time. This is my Louis Vuitton Cherry Blossom International wallet. And as a lot of you guys know, because I think I was filming back then, last year I made like my Cherry Blossom year, because originally the only piece I had from the Cherry Blossom collection was the Pouchette accessories. Last year I kind of made my Cherry Blossom year, and I got a hold of the Cherry Blossom Clay, and the Cherry Blossom Papillon 26. So just kind of like topping off that collection with, I think, the last piece I want from it with the Cherry Blossom International wallet. And this one was an eBay purchase, and I think it was like around 600, I think. The next one I purchased is this Louis Vuitton No GM. I don't know, the No GM is a bag that I've been eyeing for some time. I kind of just like stayed away from it because it was one of those Louis Vuitton bags that had a big surge in price. It's shaped kind of weird now because I have like a pillow in it. But it was one that had a surge in price. Like these had pretty consistently been cheap, and then just one day they started selling for really expensive, and I was just like, no. But I was really lucky and I found this one for $150. So yeah, and I mean, as you can see, it's not like in pristine shape. It's got some wear, but there's no cracks or anything, and $150 was a really good price for the bag. Next is, I forgot the name. I forget every time and I feel really bad, but it's the Louis Vuitton Suhali, like lay impra something fancy sounding, basically. But this is my first bag from the Louis Vuitton Suhali collection. I wasn't like 100% sure about this bag when I first got it and started looking at it, but it was one of those that like it popped up. It was really, really cheap on the site, and I was like, you know what, it's so cheap that like I'm just gonna buy it. Like these can sell, especially in this condition, which is basically like brand new. These can sell for quite a bit of money. So I was like, shoot, I paid $400 for it. I was like, for $400, I'll just buy it and like see what I think about it. And honestly, I'm really, really glad that I went with it. The Suhali leather is just super soft and timeless and beautiful. I absolutely adore it. I actually wore this one to brunch today, so excuse me, very happy that I went along with this. And this is my Damier Ebene clay. So I now have all the clays as far as like the trio, the Blanc, or I'm sorry, the Damier Azure, the Monogram, the Damier Ebene, and I also have the multicolor ones too, in Cherry Blossom and Cherry. So I have quite a few clays, but this is actually one of the original clays. This is another one of those things that like a lot of people are not super familiar with. So it has the full leather back. This is one of Louis Vuitton's earliest clays, and I'd have to see if there's a date code. I'm pretty sure there is. Perhaps I'll save the details on this one for like just another in-depth video, but this is one of the original Louis Vuitton clays, and I think it just looks so cute, like clipped on to the Suhali, because everybody knows that Damier Ebene and red really go together and complement each other really well. And next up, I have my multicolor trio. This is my Louis Vuitton multicolor Blanc Saloon. The Saloon is also a bag that I've purchased before, but for the same reason as the clay, I wasn't a huge fan of the color layout. So I ended up finding this one, and this is the approximate color layout that I wanted, of that blue green line at the top, purple pink, and not to mention this one is pristine. Like you can see if I get it really close to the camera, the leather is basically brand new. The hardware is gorgeous. So this was another one of those where like I basically kind of say like free, because I basically just did a 1-for-1 trade with like my old one and this one. And then I think I forgot, but for my little original clay here, this was only $60 from Japan. So that one was also really cheap. Next up, I have my Louis Vuitton Alma GM in multicolor Blanc. I do have the Alma GM in multicolor Noir and was very happy to get the Blanc. I found this one for only $800, which is a very, very good price for these. My Noir I found for $500, which is kind of just like an insane price for these. So very, very happy to now have the Blanc and the Noir for the multicolor Almas. And last, but absolutely positively not least, is my Louis Vuitton Keep All 45 in multicolor Blanc, which is an absolute unicorn that I've wanted for a long time. I found this one pretty early this year for $1,500. Very good price. The actual bag itself is basically pristine. Like, as you can see, the leather's in really good condition. There's no cracks or anything like that. It does have the pocket color bleeding issue, which you can see on the front 2 pockets here. But outside of that, the bag is in really good shape. I already have the Noir that I brought some years ago in this bag, and the Noir doesn't have the color bleeding issue. That's why I actually brought the Noir first. So it's like, if you buy the Blanc version of this bag, it's more than likely gonna have color bleeding issues depending on when it was produced. That's kind of unavoidable. But once again, I paid $1,500 for it. These, even with color bleeding, sell for around $3,000. So it was still like 50% off, basically. Not mad. And if you're following my Instagram, Louis Vuitton Princess, then you know I'm actually working with a material scientist right now who is pretty confident that he can reverse the color bleeding issue. So that was another reason that I took a chance on this bag, because I'm working with a material scientist and a chemist to try and get this reversed and resolved. So if I am able to do that successfully, which they're currently in like the studies and trials right now, then I will definitely post an update on YouTube about that, because I know that's a service that a lot of people would be interested in. And that is my 2023 so far Louis Vuitton purchases. As you guys know or could tell, most of these bags were purchased like under retail value. They were pretty much all purchased under resale value. So when people always ask me the question and they're like, how on earth do you afford to buy all these bags? And the number one reason is because I never pay full price, and I get all of them pretty deeply discounted usually. And that's how I do it. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm a regular, everyday working person, as I always tell people, who has a regular job, nothing super fancy. But, you know, as the girlies say, you know, I can go this hard. Like, I don't have kids. So I can spend all my money on me. And since I get the ability to spend all my money on me, this is what I choose to spend it on. And I love that for me. So nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like to see more of my Louis Vuitton collection, make sure you check out the Louis Vuitton Princess on Instagram. Bye guys.